There's an eerie toy doll on display at the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, that many believe is either cursed by voodoo or inhabited by a ghostly spirit. Robert the doll has beady black eyes and an impish expression on his face, which is covered in nicks that look like scars. In his hands, he holds a stuffed pet lion, which is also a little bit creepy, especially in person. Yes, I gave Robert a visit, and he let me know that he didn't appreciate it. The story today on Cool Stuff, Strange Things. Robert was made near the turn of the 20th century. Standing just over 3 feet tall, he is stuffed with wood slivers cut from logs. He wears a sailor suit, and his face was initially painted in a way that resembled a jester. It makes sense because this guy has some tricks up his sleeve. A young boy named Robert Eugene Gene Otto was gifted the doll in 1906. It's believed his grandfather bought the doll in Germany, but others say a disgruntled servant who practiced voodoo gave Gene the doll. Gene and Robert were best friends, and the little boy treated Robert like a living person. Legend has it that Gene's family and their servants would hear the boy talking to himself in his room in 2 different voices. When Gene got in trouble, he often blamed Robert for his misbehavior, including an incident in which furniture was overturned in his bedroom. Robert did it, he said. Some have suggested that Robert absorbed a lot of Gene's emotional energy during the boy's life, which made for some strange occurrences. Neighbors said they witnessed the doll moving from window to window. Visitors swore they saw Robert blink and change his expressions. When he grew up, Gene became an artist and designed the gallery at the Fort East Martello Museum. His home was called the Artist House. A woman named Myrtle Reuter purchased the home after Gene died in 1974, and tenants started noticing some odd things, including footsteps in the attic where Robert was kept. A plumber also claimed he heard laughing, and when he looked to see the source, he noticed a doll had mysteriously moved across the room. A journalist from Solaris Hill, Key West, named Malcolm Ross, visited Robert and said the doll had a look on his face like a little boy being punished. When Ross and a group of people began discussing the doll's history, it appeared as though Robert was listening to them, and his expression changed. Reuter moved out the Artist House 6 years later and in 1994 donated the doll to the museum. She told the staff the doll was haunted and that he traveled around her house by himself. Now, word of mouth about Robert the doll compelled people to visit the museum, prompting the staff to put him on exhibit. Visitors' cameras and other electronic devices mysteriously started jamming around him. Before long, the museum began getting letters addressed to Robert. People apologized for disrespecting him and asked for his forgiveness, believing he hexed them or caused them some bad luck. Even today, the museum receives correspondence for Robert on nearly a daily basis, which it collects and catalogs. Some people even send him candy, money, and joints. I should have sent him something because portions of this episode of Cool Stuff Strange Things were shot next to Robert at the Fort East Martello Museum. On that very same trip, that very same day, I took photos of the cats at the Hemingway House, the Rooster Cemetery at Blue Haven, and some casual selfies at the Ripley's on Wall Street. All of those photos remained, but the videos and photos from Robert, they vanished. Living the believe it or not life, I'm always a bit skeptical of these things, but this is surely one spooky coincidence. It's unclear whether Robert is cursed, inhabited by the spirit of his good old pal Gene, or possessed by something else. Or it could simply be that people's rich imaginations have made him come to life. Either way, I'm not taking my chances with this Chucky. I'm Sabrina Seek, and I'll be back next week with more cool stuff, strange things.